The Divine Comedy is one of the greatest works of Western literature, written by Italian poet Dante Alighieri between 1308 and 1321. This epic poem takes the reader on a journey through the three realms of the afterlife: Hell, Inferno, Purgatory, Purgatorio, and Heaven, Paradiso. It is a visionary journey of the soul, blending Christian theology, philosophy, politics, and Dante's personal allegories to comment on the nature of sin, redemption, and divine justice. In the Divine Comedy, Dante himself is the protagonist, guided through the underworld by the Roman poet Virgil and later by Beatrice, the love of his life and a symbol of divine grace. Through his allegorical journey, Dante represents humanity's journey toward God, emphasizing the need for moral rectitude and divine grace to achieve salvation. Inferno, Descent into Hell. The first section of the Divine Comedy, Inferno, is arguably the most famous. It opens with Dante, who has lost his way in a dark forest, symbolizing his moral and spiritual confusion. He is confronted by three wild beasts that block his path, representing sin. At this moment, Virgil, the Roman poet who represents human reason, appears to guide Dante on a journey through hell, purgatory, and ultimately heaven. Dante embarks on this journey to find salvation and inner peace. Hell is depicted as a series of 9 descending circles, each representing different sins and their corresponding punishments. The deeper Dante and Virgil descend, the more severe the sins and punishments become. Each circle is reserved for particular sins. The first circle is limbo, where virtuous non-Christians reside. The second circle is for the lustful. The third for the gluttonous, and so on. In the 9th circle, the deepest pit of hell, reside the traitors, including Judas Iscariot, Brutus, and Cassius. As Dante travels through the circles, he meets historical, mythological, and contemporary figures from his time, each suffering eternal torment that reflects the nature of their sins. The structure of hell and the punishments therein reflect the medieval concept of divine justice. Each punishment is a manifestation of contrapasso, meaning that the punishment reflects the sin itself. For example, the lustful are blown around by violent winds, symbolizing their inability to control their desires in life. The final circle of hell is a frozen lake, where Satan himself is trapped, eternally chewing on the bodies of the worst traitors. Here, Dante witnesses the ultimate consequences of sin and treachery before ascending to Purgatory. Purgatorio, the mountain of purgatory. After emerging from the depths of hell, Dante and Virgil ascend to the base of the mountain of Purgatory, where souls undergo purification before they can enter heaven. In Purgatorio, Dante's vision of the afterlife is more hopeful than in Inferno, as the souls here are not condemned to eternal torment, but are instead being purged of their sins. Purgatory is divided into 7 terraces, each corresponding to one of the 7 deadly sins: pride, envy, wrath, sloth, avarice, gluttony, and lust. As Dante ascends the mountain, he encounters souls who are in various stages of purgation, suffering punishments that are designed to cleanse them of the specific sin they committed in life. For instance, the proud must carry heavy stones on their backs, forcing them to look downward in humility, while the envious have their eyes sewn shut to prevent them from casting envious glances at others. Each terrace represents a process of spiritual growth, as the souls on each level are working toward redemption. Unlike hell, where the punishments are eternal, the souls in purgatory can eventually ascend to heaven after their purification is complete. This makes Purgatorio a place of hope and redemption, where Dante reflects on the possibility of moral improvement and the necessity of repentance. Throughout Purgatorio, Dante continues to encounter various historical and literary figures, including his own ancestors and friends, each of whom imparts wisdom and advice. As he progresses through the terraces, Dante undergoes his own process of spiritual purification, preparing him for the final stage of his journey: Paradiso, the journey through heaven. The final section of the Divine Comedy is Paradiso, where Dante, now guided by Beatrice, ascends through the 9 celestial spheres of heaven. Each sphere represents a different level of blessedness, corresponding to the virtues practiced by the souls who reside there. The souls in heaven are not punished or purged, but instead experience varying degrees of divine joy based on their closeness to God. The first spheres of heaven are inhabited by those who demonstrated lesser virtues, such as faith and hope, while the higher spheres are reserved for those who exhibited greater spiritual understanding and charity. As Dante moves closer to the Empyrean, the highest level of heaven where God resides, the light becomes more intense, symbolizing the soul's increasing proximity to divine wisdom and love. Beatrice serves as Dante's spiritual guide, representing divine wisdom and grace. Her presence in heaven is a reward for Dante's love and devotion to her during his life. As Dante ascends through the spheres, his understanding of divine love and the nature of the universe deepens. He experiences the profound unity of all creation and the harmony between human will and divine will. In the final cantos of Paradiso, Dante reaches the Empyrean, where he is granted a vision of God. He struggles to describe the experience as it transcends human understanding. The poem concludes with Dante's ultimate realization that divine love is the force that moves the universe, and that human beings can only achieve true fulfillment through unity with God's will. Themes and motifs. Justice and divine retribution. A central theme throughout the Divine Comedy is divine justice, particularly the idea that every sin will be met with appropriate punishment or purification. In Inferno, sinners are condemned to eternal torment that reflects the nature of their sins, while in Purgatorio, souls are given the chance to cleanse themselves of sin and move closer to God. In Paradiso, the souls who have lived virtuous lives are rewarded with eternal bliss. The poem explores the concept of contrapasso, where the punishment or reward mirrors the actions of the individual, demonstrating the fairness and precision of divine justice. The journey of the soul, Dante's journey through the three realms of the afterlife, represents the soul's journey toward God. The poem is an allegory for the spiritual path that every individual must follow, moving from sin and despair, represented by hell, through repentance and purification, purgatory, to salvation and divine union, heaven. Each step of Dante's journey corresponds to a different stage of spiritual growth, with Virgil representing human reason and Beatrice symbolizing divine grace. The journey is not only physical but also moral and intellectual, as Dante learns important lessons about the nature of sin, virtue, and the human soul. His progression from the depths of hell to the heights of heaven symbolizes the possibility of redemption and the transformative power of divine grace, love, and divine will. The theme of love, both earthly and divine, runs throughout the Divine Comedy. In Inferno, sinful love leads to destruction, while in Purgatorio, love is purified and directed toward God. By the time Dante reaches Paradiso, love is the central force that moves the entire universe. Beatrice represents both Dante's earthly love and the divine love that leads him to salvation. In Paradiso, Dante experiences the ultimate realization that divine love is the driving force behind all creation. This understanding of love as the source of both earthly happiness and spiritual fulfillment is one of the poem's key messages. Through his journey, Dante learns that human will must align with divine will in order to achieve true peace and happiness. Politics and personal criticism. While the Divine Comedy is primarily a religious and philosophical work, it also contains sharp political commentary. Dante was deeply involved in the political struggles of his time, and many of the figures he encounters in hell, purgatory, and heaven are drawn from contemporary Italian politics. Dante uses the poem to critique the corruption and moral decay of the political and religious institutions of his day, particularly the Catholic Church and the city-state of Florence. Dante's political criticism extends to his personal life, as many of the characters he meets in the afterlife are individuals he knew personally, some of whom he condemns to hell. This gives the poem a deeply personal dimension, as Dante uses the journey through the afterlife to express his own moral and political views. Literary style. The Divine Comedy is written in terza rima, a three-line rhyme scheme that creates a sense of flow and continuity throughout the poem. The use of the terza rima structure mirrors the tripartite nature of the afterlife and emphasizes the interconnectedness of the three realms. Dante's language is both philosophical and poetic, blending theological concepts with vivid imagery and allegory. The poem's structure is meticulously organized, with each section or canto contributing to the overall narrative arc. The use of allegory is one of the most distinctive features of the poem, as every character and event has both a literal and symbolic meaning. The poem's complex symbolism and layered meanings have made it a subject of intense scholarly analysis for centuries. Conclusion. The Divine Comedy is not only a theological exploration of the afterlife, but also a profound meditation on the nature of sin, redemption, and divine justice. Through his allegorical journey, Dante offers a vision of the human soul's path toward God, emphasizing the importance of repentance, moral growth, and divine grace. The poem's blend of philosophical depth, political commentary, and poetic beauty has ensured its enduring status as one of the greatest works of Western literature, created for Squeeze That Book channel. Please subscribe to follow new videos, and leave a comment with your thoughts about the book.